Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade in the
Shade in the
City.
City. Somebody's
Welcome back,
excited.
Shade Squad, and welcome new viewers. I am so excited because we have been waiting for it. We have heard all the craziness that is going on in social media, from
And these
custody
ATL streets.
battles to coleslaw to just everything else, from
It's been
fried
a
chicken,
lot.
everything else going on.
Been a
Okay.
lot. It's been a lot.
We are about to review Love and Marriage Huntsville because it is back. And I thought it was funny because they listed it as season 5, but I thought this was just the second part of season 4. But whatever, Carlos, do what you want to do. Anyway, point is, we're jumping into our review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm very happy that it's back. And thank you guys for joining us. So if you have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button.
And you hit that subscribe button.
And please don't forget, we would love any type of birthday blessings that you would like to send for the birthday girl, because it is her birthday month.
Subscribing counts.
And if you just want to subscribe, it's free, but it's gift. It's a gift. And we appreciate it. So let's get into it because I can't wait. I even just the opening, just it was everything for me. I am ready. I didn't realize how much I've been missing Love and Marriage Huntsville. I've been missing quality TV. So let me tell y'all.
What?
I had the hardest.
You want to tell us your story. So let me tell y'all.
So I had the hardest time getting through this scene with Martell and Melody. I'm one of those people, I believe in love. And yes, I see Mel is growing and glowing, and without him, and she is not as stressed. And I get it.
I couldn't get through the scene either, but I felt like it's because we went through most of this last season. And I really feel like we shouldn't have picked up here. Yeah, he brought the kids, trying to be.
Well, so anyway, Martell ain't got much to say. He says he's proud of her. He lets her know that this is a big deal. And she's like, I know, thanks.
Yeah, I know.
However, he refrains from saying anything else because he's trying to tread lightly. Obviously, they have a very rocky relationship, and he believes it's just in the best interest if they can get along for the kids. And so he feels like doing this and bringing the kids there is a step in the right direction. Now, Miss Van comes back, and I want to say she was coming to check in on her, because I'm sure once Martell came and got the kids, she was like, oh, let me go see what's going on with Mel. So she's like, she was surprised to see Martell pop up. And Mel basically talks about in the confessional how just when you go through a divorce, it's not just you. And I don't think people realize that. And I think sometimes even when you have kids or just long-term relationships period where you've been and you started to integrate families, yeah, it's when you break up or when you divorce or split up, just period. It affects everyone around you. It's not just.
So the one who fucks up, that's some shit they need to take into consideration.
Well, that. So, Martha, oh, Jesus. Okay. Now, Martell says it's good, he thinks it's good for the kids to see their mom following their dreams. But it's bittersweet for him. That's why I was saying, like, he just looks out and looks like he wanna, and I bet you he ain't doing that for coleslaw. But anyway.
Because he's the one that fucked up. That's usually how it goes.
I know. I just keep thinking, I still love you.
You weren't showing it.
Okay. So then we see Maurice and Kimmy pull up to the retreat. And apparently they're the first couple there. They're introduced to Marlo, who is Dr. Francis's wife.
Mm-hmm. She's
and
very nice, very sweet lady.
Yeah, and we also know Dr. Francis. Now, Maurice is confused. I love this. I actually cracked up for a few minutes off this. You can ask Nell. I was like, Maurice was like, why would Tisha plan a vacation with Dr. Francis? That would have been my question. But see, I wouldn't have went on vacation. I'm that person. I'm sorry. I have a little bit of a control problem. I'm that person. I'm just not going where you tell me to go. You got to give me.
Oh, but the women
tell me what we doing.
Yeah, the women knew. The women knew. And the
Right.
reason why she planned it and invited them is because she speaks with the women. And clearly she thought it was good for you guys to be there. Because she speaks to your wife.
Right. So now Maurice says in the confessional, he feels that he doesn't need any fixing. He feels like after seeing Dr. Francis the first time, he feels like that he's reformed. He took Kimmy on a damn honeymoon. They've been traveling ever since. He feel like he's reformed. And they
He's like, I'm perfect. I'm fixed. You gonna have her fixed by the time we leave though?
Right. Now, as we know, I think what he means by fixing, which I think is really unfortunate because I really do like Maurice out of the whole Scott clan. And it just about this whole sex thing. And it's very unfortunate that he's that much of a and I'm gonna have to use this word, Neanderthal. That's what it's giving. So and I'm gonna need you to stop popping those blue pills as often as you do, because it shouldn't be popping like that. It shouldn't be popping like that at your age, bro. So that's good that it's still going, but you shouldn't put the demands
on
her.
Also and this is not by any means a dig at all. She's a little bit older than him too, right?
I think
she is.
I don't think she's much older.
I mean, I think at a certain age, don't you kind of lose your drive? I think he needs to take that into consideration too.
I think he needs to stop popping blue pills and stop expecting that from her. Oh. So anyway, so then yeah.
That don't mean be like Martell though. Well, she wasn't giving it to me, so
right. And that's why she's like, we need to have a conversation because you keep using that. So how long are you going to use that? And I'm telling you, before you start to use that as a reason why you're stepping out. That's why it's a concern. That's why she's like, no, that's like, I don't want to tell you I'm going to do something that I know I'm not going to do. Point blank period. I'm not doing it. So we need to figure out a happy medium, but I'm not doing it.
Girl, you need to switch them blue pills for some sleeping pills.
Right. Give them some melatonin, girl.
Right.
I'll send you a blue magic marker, girl. So anyway, no, that would probably be
right.
Food coloring, girl. Food coloring.
We only trying to put them to sleep for a few hours.
Okay? Y'all see, I watch too much IDTV. Anyway, so shortly after Tiffany and Lewis arrive, Lewis says he's looking forward to learning more about the Scotts and just really like getting the information that, Dr. Francis has for them, and is hoping Tiffany, one track mind like hell. Tiffany, I love Tiffany. She's cute. She thicky thick. I love Tiffany. I actually started liking her a lot more last season. But Tiffany, I'm gonna need, and trust me, I'm a baby freak girl. I'm here with you. But you need to get right with the man with the penis that you need the stuff from before you start thinking about pushing the baby out. Like that's kind of how it, it's like supposed to be a timeline, like a pattern, a way that shit goes. And you're just not doing that.
It's like saying the way the shit should align.
Right. It's like she knows that and me and Nels often talk about this, guys, in our reviews, across the many reviews and relationship shows that we do. But when you know something is wrong and there's a disconnect, the most unattractive thing that you can do as the person, or be on the other side where you see your partner has it, if you see they're not trying to change it, when you address it, and we know Tiffany is a little bit of a workaholic. Lewis has addressed it multiple times. He said he's not satisfied. He says, whatever the case may be. And now you're talking about bringing a baby, which he's told you more than once, he's not interested in that because of all these other things. So why would you continue to push this narrative of a baby until you fix all these other things first? I mean, I'm not licensed at all, but am I crazy? Is that not some common sense shit? But maybe I'll let Dr. Francis tell her.
Not everybody was blessed with common sense.
But she book smart as hell. But go ahead.
So Dr. Francis asked where the last couple is. Okay, everybody here, except for the other Scotts. Okay. So Tiffany gives them a call and asks Tisha, where y'all at? What's going on? Tisha says there was a mix-up. Over there. um, Tisha says that there was a mix-up in the schedule with the nanny. So, they're running late, they're in traffic. And Kimmy says Dr. Francis, was just asking, hey, where's the third couple? Because this phone is on speakerphone. And Marcel says, wait a second. Dr. Francis is there? Mm-hmm. And Kimmy's like, yes. And he's waiting on you. I said, Jesus, Kimmy, did you not get the memo that this man did not know? No, I know you knew. Why would I guess she felt like, look, he in the car, he trapped. You don't know Marcel.
Okay. I think Marcel will hit a drop.
Tisha gonna listen. He might have been the one driving.
Okay? Right. And I still think he'll hit a stop, drop, roll in your ass.
Look, he be done just dropped her ass off in the driveway, kept on going. Ride back with Kimmy and them, okay? Ride back with the other Scots. So Marceau says, he's got other business to take care of, and he don't know if he coming now. But then in the confessional, he then says, you know what? I don't care. What's the worst that could happen? And Tisha jokes, and she's like, maybe he makes you a better man. Yeah. So they let Dr. Francis know that they think Marceau thought it was more recreational. So, it was just a shock for him. I guess so, Dr. Francis don't really feel disrespected. Like Marceau just don't want to come around his ass. Tiffany says he doesn't like to be peer pressured. And Dr. Francis says, I ain't about to pressure nobody. Okay. And says, he's just here to expose you to a way to work through who you are that would impact your relationship. Then Tiffany says, speaking on working,
I got to go.
I gotta go. Can you excuse me? I got a work call. Ooh-wee.
And Dr. Francis didn't like that.
You can tell Dr. Francis seemed a little disrespected. And Maurice
Maurice said, y'all know Dr. Francis don't like when they put
work before your spouse.
He said, I learned that. That's why I'm fixed.
That's why he fixed. Exactly what he said.
So,
right. So then Dr. Francis, he stands up. And
he tells Lewis, I love the way Dr. Francis said this because he said it in a way that wasn't, but I'm going to say this, it was very passive aggressive, but it was honest. And he said, me and my wife came up here to spend time with you guys to work on your relationship.
Because we committed. He wrote the word commitment on the whiteboard. He said he's committed to his wife, who is committed to them and being there. He said he cleared his schedule and he was expecting everybody else to do the same thing. But your wife is not here. And she has competing interests. And says it's clear that this is not important. Lewis tells him, you know what? I'll address that I'm here and I'm present, but you can take that.
But I'll go back and deliver the message.
But I think he also said you can take that over her.
Yeah. Because he knows even he can't tell Tiffany shit. So he can go back and deliver the message. You're like, oh well, he didn't say it to me. That Tiffany gives me that.
You saw what she said.
Yeah.
So Dr. Francis says, when she had a work phone call, she didn't even ask. She just got up and left. And you can't be in two places at once. You can't have a work mindset and a spousal mindset because one will take precedence over the other. And we see what the hell just happened. So Lewis goes to check in on Tiffany and, she says that she just got off the phone. Now she's checking some emails. And he says, I'm sure you'll have a great, fun conversation about commitment to this moment and being present when you get back to the group. So she's like, are the other Scots here? He's like, no. She's like, oh, okay. Honey, that has nothing, that
ain't got to do nothing with the
exactly. They are stuck in traffic. Okay, trust me, this is Tisha's trip. If Tisha could have been here on time, she would have been. So Tisha and Marcel pull up, and Dr. Francis notices that she does not look happy at all. She clearly looks upset. Marcel says that they were coming right into the couples retreat, and they found out that they had lost a really good friend. Apparently it's Tisha's best friend who she went to college with. And she's just having a super emotional moment. You know, they're sitting out on the front porch, and she's really emotional. And he feels that, you know, being at the retreat is a healthy distraction because they really needed something like right away, like to distract them. So
we see it's the kid's last day of school, and he's going. Martell is going to pick up Miss Marlene to go with him. He tells her, even though it was his weekend, he decided to take the kids by to see Mel at, you know, the Orion Amphitheater, which we saw earlier. And he said the kids enjoyed it, and he said it went good. And he wanted to support. He said it felt it was major, and he now feels like she's letting her guard down a little bit. Miss Marlene. Miss Marlene, I know you older and I try to respect my elders, but let me tell you something. What you're not going to do. Miss Marlene says that it's about time she needs to let her guard down, because you're going to go through things in life, and she has to learn to not be bitter. Now, I do believe, and I'm not sure, I believe Martell's father wasn't very present, and
I think he was also unfaithful.
I think there was a lot of infidelity there as well. So what I would like for the older, and I'm sorry, I might step on a few toes. What I would like the older Black women community to do is stop telling our young Black girls that it's okay to put up with bullshit and you just stay with a man just to say you have a man. Let's stop doing that. Okay, I said it. and it is what it is. But we need to stop.
It's hot in.
I'm just saying.
It's so hot in here.
We need to stop doing that to our younger girls and uplift them and build them up and let them know that they're worth more than, and if a man values you, he should treat you that way. And you don't have to just accept anything just to say that you have a man, and you damn sure don't have to put up with anything after you leave him and deal with his bullshit after you left him. Okay. I'm sorry, that was my read from Miss Marlene.
She felt so bad at the amphitheater for Martell though.
Well, no, that was from Miss Marlene. That wasn't for Martell. That was for Miss Marlene. Okay. Then Miss Marlene says she has nothing against Mel, but she be on Facebook talking about how she be talking about Miss Van. And she was like, I have a life. I ain't got time to be talking about Miss Van. And I ain't never really said nothing about her. Now, she said, I'll always wish her the best. And she just wants Mel to not mistreat people, i.e. Martell, because he's, you know, a great father. And she doesn't, one thing what Mel has never done, and correct Shade Squad, if I'm wrong, post it down in the comments. Correct me, because I know you will. Y'all like doing it. So please tell me if I'm wrong. Mel has never said anything about Martell as a father. Now, as a husband, she has every right to say what the hell she wants to say, because that is her experience with him.
Back at the retreat, Dr. Francis says that, you know, he realized that the Scotts have gone through a personal loss, and he's not planning to address their tardiness to the retreat for now. I said, oh, now. I said, okay. And says, however, Tiffany made the decision to leave the session, and he definitely plans to address that over the next couple days. I said, oh, this ain't just going to be addressed today. We're going to get into it.
He done made this a lesson plan.
Right? So Marceau says he was not expecting to have a weekend of therapy, but, you know, life takes unexpected turns, and he knows this is something that, you know, his wife wants him to take serious. So Dr. Francis
going to try to learn something from him.
Yes. Dr. Francis is back at his whiteboard, y'all. That thing is filled up with all types of things.
And he says you are only as strong as your last successful challenge.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And jumps right into Tiffany. Had a phone call. I thought, oh, that was the segue.
We point him out. Okay.
Right? Point him out. She says that, you know, no, I'm sorry. He said that she went off to do business and left you to do this by yourself. And you said nothing. and gave her a good reason as to why she should do it.
And Lewis says, that's my wife. I'm supposed to protect her.
And Dr. Francis, let me take something. Look, what you're not about to do is go back and forth with Dr. Francis. Okay, he shut Marceau down.
I was going to say, no rebuttals with Dr.
You don't shut
Marceau
down. Dr. Francis shut Marceau down. So good luck. Okay. Dr. Francis says, I'm asking Lewis to get rid of this fear to saying things that you won't like. And says he's protecting his wife at his own expense at growth. Tiffany said she was just waiting for all the couples to be in session so they could all do this together. I said, Tiffany, that is a way. Look at you finding a nice way to say, well, they was late, so why you don't get on
Dr. Francis reminds her, it's not about the other couples.
You here for you. Look, I done told you.
And look, it's so funny because Tiffany's like, no, Tisha tricked me. I didn't think it was going to be this. She didn't think it was going to be that. She did not.
You clearly don't know Dr. Francis.
Right.
So she says work is a priority, as is she is here from now on. This is a priority. And, he tells her, you don't sleep at work. You don't eat work. You don't drink work. You don't dress work. Tiffany explains that Lewis did already know, what she had to do. And maybe she should have expressed it and spoke with Dr. Francis about it prior, that she had to step away for 30 minutes. And there was no opportunity to change it off of her schedule. Dr. Francis said, you're going to schedule your way right out your marriage. Look. And Maurice's little shady ass over there. Ooh. Then he tells them, when you let other things become so important that your partner takes second place to what you think you should be doing, and she kind of intervenes. She says that they're in unison with what's happening right now. And then he says, okay, so you're pretty much content to not change. So Tiffany's basically like, oh, so you're telling me basically the only way for our marriage to be successful is to follow your guide. And says, everybody got something in their marriage, something going on. And Kimmy intervenes and says, we actually had a conversation where you told me that y'all had disagreements about, your time that you don't get to spend together and work getting in the way. Tiffany says she gives 100% to her work and to home. And Kimmy is like, that is impossible, boo. No, you don't. And Tiffany says that's the only way that things work. It would if it was possible. Tiffany explains that she's self-aware of the issue and she knows she needs to continue to find time to have sex with her husband and to make it a priority. He explains that your marriage is a challenge every minute of every day. Okay, and then Marlo brings out a rope so that they can play a game and tells them that they have to tie this rope to each other's ankles
and walk
so they can be tied together and walk around for 15 minutes. And nobody seems excited or happy about.
And I didn't think that was a long time. I thought they were gonna have to be together for the whole day. So I was like, this is kind of easy, but
I don't know. I just feel like if I was gonna go on a couples retreat or something, especially after seeing this, I might want to know what the itinerary looked like. Dr. Francis says they struggle over who should be the leader. And this rope activity will replicate the struggle they have in their lives. Now, everybody walks in and everybody's walking, walking super duper slow with these.
And Tisha and Marceau surprisingly are doing very well.
Yes. And she says she feels it's because, they're doing the best because they've been married for 16 years. Like they do this.
And Marceau says it's because they know how to communicate. And, he knows knowing when the rope is too tight on her foot, it's, if it's tight on hers and it's tight on me. And that's how marriage works. It's give and take. I was like, look at Marceau out here. Look, he around here talking about Dr. Francis fixed him too, apparently. Go ahead.
Dr. Francis says he was watching Tisha and Marceau and they seem to have a knack for what it's really like to go through this exercise. He says Kimmy and Maurice were struggling. They weren't close physically and they needed to be. He says repeatedly Tiffany would ask Lewis to pick her up and he did it, but he doesn't know if he did it because he wanted to or he was worried about dealing with any retribution from her.
Mm.
Now, he tells them that the legs that are tied together represents the part of them that are inseparable. And the other legs on the outside are those of their two independent parts. And this creates tension, and it is how you figure it out in your life.
And basically, it kind of determines who decides what, who has the upper hand. So, for example, when he used Tiffany and how Lewis kept picking her up, she clearly has a say so. She clearly, I'm not going to say wear the pants, but yeah, she clearly dictates how things go down.
I mean, I don't know about like all her relationships, but from this one and the past one, it seems like that's kind of what she's used to.
Right. And then he lets them know that we're not here to have fun. We're here to give you things to change your marriage.
I've been like, man, I took off a weekend for this.
I would have been like, Tisha, I want my money back. I want my money back. Oh, I don't even know where we started. So Mel goes to visit Stormy at her beautiful home. Y'all, if y'all don't follow Stormy on Instagram, you really should, because
her house is beautiful.
Her house is amazing. She be having deers and stuff in the backyard. It's really cute. So she goes to visit Stormy at her Zen room. So they can try out her sound bowls and center their chakras. Love it. I feel like everyone needs a friend like this. I definitely have a friend like this. You need someone that can kind of like center you and is really in touch. And I think even more than me, she's in touch, and I love it. Stormy says
she's more in touch than a lot of people.
Yeah. Stormy says she's in there almost every day. She says when she has a trying day or, you know, high level, having conversations and like just business calls, you know, but that's where she goes to center herself. And I thought that was really dope. Mel said she's excited about her energy being on point. And then she tells her about the weekend and the whole Orion Amphitheater situation. And Stormy's like, so who was there? And she goes through the list of who was there. And we know Dawn, Mom, but then she brings up Martell and he brought the kids. So she said he was surprisingly cool, which, you know, Mel is not used to. She really didn't know how to gauge it. She said he seemed like he wanted to say something, but she wasn't sure. And she was happy that he didn't say nothing because she was just happy to see her kids. But she feels like they may be coming to a good place as far. And I love how she like kind of reiterated, it's about the kids. Like, I hope we're coming to a good place and making peace when it comes to the kids. Mm-hmm. But I think she said that for a reason. It ain't got nothing to do with relationships. So Stormy asked her how Miss Van felt, and she said that, you know, she was cool as long as Martell is not basically attacking her child or trying to bring harm on her child, then she's good. You know what I mean? She can rock with him. And then Stormy inquires into her relationship with Miss Marlene, and she basically says that, you know, unfortunately, there were some things said, and of course, OWN runs back the tape, where that weren't true. And basically Marlene made it seem like, or I guess the way I'll say the way Mel felt was that Marlene was trying to say that she was lazy, and that she was running Martell into the ground, and he was working so hard. And obviously we know Martell has said it before in prior seasons, and he's watching the kids while she's out, you know, making whatever money move she was making. And so she felt like it was too much on her son. And Mel took offense to that and says that everybody can see in 2022 that Mel does not have a lazy bone in her body. Okay. Mm-hmm. I am a go-getter.
She basically just said, you know, she wants to protect her peace, and to do that, she normally cuts people off. She also says she still loves Miss Marlene from a distance, but believes in the future, you know, that they can be cordial. And
she also says there's casualties in war, and she had to realize that.
Yeah, because, you know, she was super close with Miss Marlene, but and she said she's not trying to have the same relationship that they had because it was a divorce, and, you know, that is his mother, and with the divorce, you know, you have to remove things and people that are attached to him. So yeah. Everybody getting snazzy. Marcel and Tisha are up in the room getting ready, and she asked, you know, how he's liking it so far, and he
said, "No, this is not what I expected.
I really don't like surprises. You know, there's supposed to be a couple retreat, And this is couples counseling.
Absolutely.
You tricked me. Feel bamboozled. Okay. Kimmy tells Maurice that she doesn't feel like they communicated very well, of course, during the activity. And he says that they tried, different ways, but, whatever they tried, it didn't help them move very fast. And then, he says that he tried to pull her in close, and felt like they started moving more freely. But he feels like the major issue with that was she wanted to take the lead, and she says that he was just holding her too tight. So he was like, okay, well, I felt like, you told me I was holding you too tight, so I just let you go. And she's like, okay, when I said you're holding me too tight, you don't just let me go, you just loosen up.
Right.
Well, so then they all meet at the dining table, what looks like is about to be a beautiful dinner. Dr. Francis asks what they think about, how the day is going and if they're ready for him to leave and go home. Tiffany says, no, I like a challenge.
Why did you say that, Tiffany?
Girl. He asked them to share what they got, out of the things that they did today. Marcel discusses the activity that took place outside and says sometimes it may hurt to be in lockstep, even to the point where if you did it right and you gave up something, but you're still gaining something in that.
Look at Marceau out here trying to be profound.
He a poet and didn't even know it.
Okay.
Then, he asked, how much can you share without feeling depleted? She says, as a mother of younger kids, she feels like she has to split her time. And as the kids get older, you have more time to spend with your spouse. And he tells her, when you do a really good job of teaching your children, and, they become independent, then you start suffering from being an empty nester. Even when the kids are at home.
Tiffany and Louis feathers.
Yeah, they're like over there gushing and stuff. And he like, oh, okay, I hit a chord.
Right. As they say in church,
Louis says,
somebody's toes.
Huh?
I said, as they say in church, he stepped on somebody's toes.
Louis says that they have teenagers and, they kind of like to do their own thing, but their mom wants to be there. Tiffany says that she does want a baby because she loves being a mom, but she wants it to be mutual. And we know he ain't necessarily on board. And then they discuss maybe fostering. She lets him know that she was adopted when she was first born. And he tells her that.
Actually, Louis brought up the adoption. Louis brought up her being a foster child.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I said that they discussed fostering. But she did let him know that, I guess he asked her when was she adopted, and she said when she was first born. So, she's never known her biological parent.
Yeah, as we know, that's why she went searching for him last season.
Mm-hmm. He tells her that that might have something to do with her capacity to attach or distance herself from people so she doesn't feel pain of loss again. She says that her parents were drug addicts for many years. And he tells her
adopted parents, y'all. Her adopted parents.
Yes, her adopted parents.
Not even her biological.
Yes.
So imagine not knowing your biological parents and knowing they gave you up, and then you get adopted by parents that are drug addicts. I'm just saying. I feel for Tiffany right now.
He tells her, look at what happened to you. You had major loss. You had major loss at birth. Then the parents who adopted you were unavailable. You had another major loss, and then says her divorce was another loss. That's 3 major losses.
Yes, ma'am.
And what does that do now for your marriage that you're in now? And says it's not easy to go through a series of losses. And Louis basically kind of chalks this up as life. And Dr. Francis says, what I'm getting from you is because it's life, I can just think my way through my feelings. And says, when you're able to distance yourself from those things, but never work through them, that's what you're doing. And feels that having a child may give her some assurance that she doesn't have to go through life very, very long being alone, and your baby will never leave you. And feels that that's really why she wants a baby. And teary-eyed, Tiffany over here is
because he hitting the core.
Yeah, he is.
Go ahead, Dr. Francis.
I told you. So Tiffany says Dr. Francis talking about these things that happened in her life and calling them loss is new to her. Now she says she does fear being alone and might have some fear of abandonment.
She said she don't even like alone time, y'all. And I was like, girl, you don't like alone time. I love alone time.
Yeah, I don't know what
But being what she's been through, I get. Which is why she wants another baby, because she don't want to be in a house with just Lewis.
Well, just spend more time with your husband. You won't be alone.
She don't want to be in a house with just Lewis. That's why she wants another baby. That's why they felt this empty nest shit hard, because they are a perfect example. Once these kids are gone, they're not gonna know what to do with each other. So she's trying. Hear me out. I think she's, in a way, this is like a way to kind of try to save her marriage or keep it going for a little bit longer.
All she got to do is work less.
Literally, in her mind, I won't work less. I'll just have another baby, and then we have a whole new commitment to each other.
With still no time to do it.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking. I'm telling you what I'm thinking.
Listen, I'm just glad I'm not the only person that it doesn't make sense to. So, she says it's a lot to take into consideration, but she definitely needs to think about how all of this impacts her marriage. Now, Marcel says that he couldn't help but notice how they talked about time earlier and wants to know how she would, do her business with a new baby in this mix. And she says she's always functioned in chaos. He's like, oh, okay, you want to bring a human life into chaos. I said, all right, Marcel.
Go ahead, Marcel. I said, look at Marcel this season. He said, y'all not going to do this to me this season.
Because, when they had their children, Tisha stayed home.
Right.
She was a stay-at-home mom. So this is why it's not registering for him at all.
He's like, no.
And she says she feels like there's always going to be something. And Marcel asked Lewis, how do you feel? Like, you feel like you're going to get more or less? And he's like, more or less what? He's like, the thing.
Well, life is like, things happen. If I just, don't have sex because there's a new baby, I just have to accept that, I don't get sex.
And Dr. Francis is like, you read a lot of philosophy books, didn't you? He's like, yeah, I did. He was like, yeah, I can tell. He was like, the student has to become the teacher. He's like, oh, you're the teacher.
And he says, no, I'm the teacher over here with her, meaning Tiffany. And Tiffany is like,
Tiffany's like, I'm really not sure what he's been teaching, but he does have a lot to say. But I don't know what he's teaching.
She said, no, baby, we teach each other.
Yeah, she tried to clean it up. She was like, we teach each other, because you could see he was getting a little offended.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Francis says what Lewis is doing is giving philosopher. I cannot say it.
Philosopher?
No. Philosophical.
Oh, philosophical.
I could not say it to save my life. Essential questions, and he's really good at it. Now, he says,
and he's good at removing himself. So he's good at asking a question
and not being vulnerable. It makes him not have to be vulnerable.
And not sharing.
So Lewis says, that he's very open and he's gone through divorce, and that allows him, to be vulnerable. So Kimmy brings up the fact that Dr. Francis has been married for 46 years and he is an expertise in his field. And he's trying to tell you some things
that he noticed within a few hours.
He's seen in these past few hours, and says that they're not receptive.
Not at all.
They don't have the door open at all.
They have nothing but rebuttals.
And of course, Lewis disagrees. Dr. Francis says that not everything is great over here on the home front. And he's seen it from early this morning. Ain't nobody say nothing. Okay. And it's not hard to see. And says that not everything is the way that they're making it seem.
So then they get offended.
And says, look, and tell them to now respond to that. Now, Tiffany wants to know what he means by this. She was like, what do you mean the way we made it seem? She says there was no falseness, and what was expressed, and wants to know, where he sees a disconnect. And he says the first word he put on the board this morning was game. When you play the game, you play the game. But when you play the game and you've discovered that your game has been discovered, you play the game of not playing the game. That's what he said, girl. I didn't know what
that's what he said. I'm like, hold on.
So what Lewis took from that?
Too many games,
right? So what Lewis took from that, he asked him. He was like, "So are you saying our marriage is an act?" Now, like I said, I don't know what Dr. Francis meant by that, because it was a lot on wordplay. And listen, you lost me.
Thank you, Shade Squad.
Yes, thank you
for tuning in to, I guess this will be season 5, according to OWN, it's season 5, episode 1 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Thank you so much for returning, for our returning subscribers and new viewers. We appreciate the view and hope that you will subscribe and become a part of the Shady community. Yes. But if you have not already, please make sure that you like the video,
you comment,
you subscribe,
and you hit the notification bell.
And make sure that you're following us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And I just want to tell y'all, I've been noticing. The IG followers is going to TikTok. I get the notifications every day. So I just want to let y'all know we appreciate the love and ask that you just continue to help us build the Shade Squad. Share us with your friends. And don't forget birthday girl over here and her birthday blessings and her river dance. And we will catch y'all next Saturday. Well, technically Sunday, because we're not going to record Sunday. But we will catch y'all next Sunday for another review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Have a good night.
Good night.
Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Hey!